Hi, welcome to OT Sophie. I'm here with a special guest. Her name is Emel. She'll introduce herself right now.
Hi, I'm Emel. I'm a full-time occupational therapist. I've been working in the school setting for about 4 years now, 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, so that's my background.
What got you into occupational therapy?
Well, I started off studying psych in my undergrad, and then moving forward, it was kind of like my brother was gonna do medical school, so my dad kind of tried to gear me through that like allied health area. So that's where I'm at.
That's nice.
Mhm.
Is there something that inspired you to become an occupational therapist?
I think it just naturally, my personality is I like helping people. I'm just like a patient person. Kind of cover all the attributes that make an occupational therapist, like adaptable, flexible, just a people's person. I'm pretty extroverted, but there's times where I like I need to charge my battery. If that makes sense.
Okay.
I just like being around people and helping people.
All right. So, would you recommend occupational therapy to other students or people?
Yeah, I mean, if you like to multitask, you kind of don't like sitting still. It's definitely a career for someone who likes variation because you could go into hand therapy, you could go into, there's so many different like areas, uh, population. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity for change, I guess, in your career.
So, you're saying there's growth in your career or
There's
growth
growth.
as
I
a
mean,
person?
I say that as I stayed with pediatrics for a while, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just because I have a preference and it just works for me. But I also have a yoga license. I'm gonna say I took a pause from actually teaching, but I just still do practice. But I have a yoga license, and then I'm also in the process of finishing up a health coaching certificate. So
Mm-hmm.
my idea is to do kind of like health coaching, yoga sessions on the side. So basically, maybe gear more towards like a holistic approach to OT because it's my personality.
Oh, okay. That's something interesting. I haven't heard of OTs being yogis or yoga instructors.
Yeah,
That's something very unique. And I think that maybe you can elaborate in that
okay.
field.
I mean, there's actually a lot of push or emphasis for mindfulness and like yoga, or just like yoga as a more of a sensory strategy for children or
Mm-hmm.
even adults, but more for the sense of sensory strategy. And I guess in the nursing home setting or hospital setting, it's more for like a like physical dysfunction setting.
Right.
So yeah, there is growth for it, but it's just like teaching children yoga who have special needs is a bit of a it's an interesting situation. So
Yeah. I think that yoga actually can be incorporated in business, you said, right?
yeah, like if some people have a surgery
Mm-hmm.
where they just need like bedside stretching, that in its own is yoga, even though it's passive, active stretching. It's just getting the like the lymphatic system in motion. That's basically what stretching does for you. So it's basically building up your immunity. So
Right.
there is kind of like a health component to it.
So I'll give you an example. When I was in OT school,
Yeah.
I had to do a research course, and I
Okay.
was really into yoga.
Yeah.
And one of the research papers that I did with my group, we picked people with stroke who focuses on de-stressing and improving their
Yeah.
lifestyles by doing yoga, stretching,
So
like you
quality of
just
life, how they
mentioned.
improve their
Yes.
quality of life. Okay.
And I feel like I saw a difference from the first week to the 8th week. There
Yeah.
was some more like range of motion, less stress, more mobility. So I can see how that's like the best.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it affects people. Well, it has a like impact in your emotional health, physical health. I guess if it's social health. I mean, if you're emotionally and physically, you know, in a good place, you're gonna want to like engage more.
Right. I agree. It's true. Okay. Thank you for sharing that
Of
part.
course.
Is there anything that you can share with OTs of what profession, meaning what specialties besides not OT, what specialties that they should use as a OT? Would you say become a pediatric therapist because you've been in the
I mean,
SNF
I'm gonna
skilled
say it's
nursing
based on a
facility?
person's personality because I've had
Yeah.
some friends who started off, they're like, oh, I have to be in the hospital setting.
Right.
And then they ended up not liking it at all. But some people love that setting. So just at the end of the day, be true to yourself and your personality. And if you're not meant to wear scrubs and a white coat, you're not meant to wear scrubs and a white coat.
Right.
Yeah. And I just came to terms that school setting is more my personality. But now I'm gearing to want to just be my own boss, I feel. So
That's
maybe
amazing.
independent contracting.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
And
thank you for listening to me. I'm a little congested with my allergies. But
well, I hope that you learned something from Emel today because I feel inspired by her. She does a lot as an OT and she's very
thank you.
unique.
Yeah.
And
I like to keep it interesting.
I bet that a lot of OTs or even students can learn from her to specialize as a yoga instructor slash OT. It's really good to combine the two because you focus on stretching, range of motion,
Yeah.
and also
Just like a more holistic approach.
quality of life.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's where I'm at right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Really?
For a second.